VamaKesvariMatam Patalaha. Sri Devi said, Lord, Tripura's mudras are hidden and not revealed. What is the way these are made? O Shankara. Bhairava said, Listen, Devi, I proclaim the mudras which accomplish all one's desires, and by fashioning which one gains unity with Tripura. One should carve the hands, leaving the thumbs free. Having put the ring fingers inside, one should cause the index fingers to be bent. O Maheshwari, then one should place the little fingers in the empty space within the hands. This is the great Trikhanda Mudra used for the invocation of Tripura. Turning the middle fingers inward, one should place the thumbs on the little fingers, having straightened both index fingers, one should place the ring fingers on the middle fingers. This is the chief mudra, the cause of all excitement. Similar to this is the mudra causing all flow, when the middle fingers are outstretched. Placing the middle on the index fingers and the little on the ring fingers, making the middle fingers like gourds, one causes the mudra of attraction, which causes attraction in the three worlds. Opening out the hands like a flower, making the index fingers like gourds, and by the Sever's method, putting the middle fingers below, one should join the little and the ring fingers together, causing all to become rigid in front of the thumbs. O Parameshani, this is known as the mudra causing all subjugation. Placing both hands together, putting the middle fingers in the space in between, outstretching little fingers, one should place outside of these the two index fingers. One should make both thumbs like sticks, touching the nails of the middle fingers. This mudra is called Madini, the cause of flow in all young women. Putting both ring fingers below and making them like gourds, one should fashion the index fingers and the others also in the same way. This is the Mahankusha, giving all that is desired to a sadhaka. Putting left hand on right hand and right hand on left hand, one should weave the hands together. Having joined the little and ring fingers together, one should insert the index fingers and above these the middle fingers. One should outstretch the thumbs. Dearest, this is the mudra called Khechari, highest of all. O Devi, the highest sadhaka making these formed as above get vision of the all effulgent taker of offerings. He becomes beloved of yoginis and is surrounded by hosts of every kind of yoginis, all enflamed with desire by hosts of shakinis and dakinis, by numbers of kakinis and lakinis, by rakinis and hakinis, having meditated in this way. Now I speak of the Samaya Mudra, most famous of all. Hard-working or idle, one pure or impure ground, standing or seated, steady or unsteady, dirty or clean. Having fashioned this one is an enjoyer in sexual love by using this mudra. One should connect the middle fingers. Having fashioned it, one instantly becomes like Shiva on earth. Dearest one, make both hands in the shape of a crescent moon. Join the index fingers and thumbs. Below this, one should place the little fingers, and below these, the middle fingers. Then one should carve all these. This is the Bija Mudra, cause of all siddhi. Having made the middle fingers crooked, one should place the index fingers over them, putting the ring fingers in the center of the hand. One should place outside of these the little fingers. One should put all these together and straighten the thumbs. This is the chief mudra called Yoni Mudra. O Maheshani, these are the Tripura mudras declared by me. A yogi should form them at the time of puja in their due order. End of the third patala of VamaKesvariMatam. Chaturtha patalaha. Devi said, Lord Parameshwara, all of the mudras are named, the best kind of knowledge. Speak now of Mahadevi's sadhana, in which each syllable is taken separately. The majesty of this great knowledge of maintenance, creation, and dissolution, and the gross and subtle parts in the body. Bhairava said, Devi, listen to this great knowledge. Which of all knowledge is the highest and best, and by practicing which one is not immersed in the ocean of being? Dear one, Tripura is the ultimate primordial Shakti, the light of manifestation. She, the Matrika, through her gross and subtle aspects gave birth to the three worlds. At dissolution, she is the abode of all things, tattvas, still remaining herself. After she emanates, there is no more need for the Lord. Devoid of Shakti, Shakta cannot act. O Parameshani, when united with Shakti, he becomes the possessor of power, Shakta. Only by union with Shakti is subtle Shiva known, and by the same token, neither karmas nor pleasure are known without her. When meditating thus, there is neither love nor thought. One should understand that the Supreme Being all go to is subtlety itself. She causes all things to disappear and is all and everything, both seed and sprout. She is Vama, Shikha, Jyeshtha, the maker of triangles. O Parameshani, as Rudri, she swallows the universe. Thus she is the ultimate Though she is the ultimate unified Shakti, the Parameshwari, Tripura, the very self of Brahma, Vishnu, and Isha, and being who is Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and Ichha Shakti. Because she emanates the three worlds, she is renowned as Tripura. When she playfully emanates, she is in the form of a certain crooked thing in the base triangle. Shiva, Sun Mandala, having opened, melts the Moon Mandala, causing a flow of birth nectar liquor which is blissful and gladdening. Having abandoned her family of young Kula women, she becomes Shiva, with no qualities, no characteristics, devoid of the form of time. Then, in her form as Satchidananda, she causes the cycle of creation to begin anew. Satisfied by this act, she becomes oneness, pure being. She plays, she is pure spirit, and also the process of manifestation, the Tripura. She is Vagishwari, Jnana Shakti, Vagbhava, the form of liberation. She is Kamaraja, Kamakala, the form of sexual desire, the self of Kriya. She is Shakti Vija, supreme, Ichha Shakti, the essence of nectar. Thus, this Devi with her three syllables is Mahatripura Sundari, known through her uninterrupted line Paramparya. She is the liberatrix. She is the liberatrix from the bonds of being. Remembered mentally, she destroys sin, recited as mantra. She destroys death, worshipped. She obliterates sadness, poverty, ailments, and ugliness. Sacrificed too, she dispels obstacles. Meditated on, she is giver of whatever one desires. Deveshi, Listen to her sadhana of the third Bija, wearing pure white garments adorned with pure white jewels. A man who is a brahmacharin should worship her, employing white flowers and with pure resolution. He gains results according to his freedom from desire. He should worship and should meditate on Supreme Vagishwari, the meditation form, and the mantra Bija, the cause of the appearance of blissful consciousness cleaving through the Brahma Granthi on the top of the tongue in the form of light. The rustic, the bad hearted, the foolish, and the great sinner should meditate on her. Whosoever is deceitful or dumb immediately becomes a brilliant orator. The dull, the stupid, the confused, the absent minded, the handicapped also become eloquent and greater than the lord of speech. One becomes a real Pandit. Unconquerable is a multitude of debates, lordly, knower of the six philosophies of poetry, law, rhetoric, aware of their quintessence, a physician, knowing of vata and so forth, of fevers and the ocean of afflictions and defeats, a beautiful prince of surpassing greatness, knowing precedent and rhetoric, a writer of books and great works of poesy, O Deveshi. Expert in Veda, Vedanta, Siddhanta, limbs of Vedas, and all form of knowledge, knowing astrology, shastras, itihasa, and so on. Mimamsa, smriti, speech, knowing the countless mantras, aware of Purana, Rasavada, and so forth, of poison and its alleviation. A knower of science, all branches of learning, knowing the substance and the essence of all tantras, having a wide knowledge of stories, painting, and so forth, and numberless crafts. A great grammarian, excellent with words, fully acquainted with Sanskrit, knowing all knowledges, the collective body of knowledge, calligraphy, skilled in the meanings of various shastras and so forth, including Veda, Vedanga, and Upanishad, knowing all the commentaries, and in short, O Devi, knowing everything. Maheshani, when in her Kamakala, from the shoot of sexual love in the genitals, she is like the disk of the early morning sun, with effulgent rays like the tip of a bright flame, bearing and showering the bindu, the synthesis of the pleasure of the world, excited with desire, mighty in her own majestic sphere, in whom I-ness disappears. In their due order, the syllables of Kama Raja cause one to become equal to the god of love, and each syllable separately make one's own being and body like the god of love, Deveshi. Then one becomes adorned with beautiful garments, a sadhaka full of passion, both superseding and greater than god of love. The sight of one on the road causes women, devis, and asuris, vidyadharis, kinnaris, yakshinis, nagas, very fierce protectress of the elements, and siddha maidens to become hot, averting their glance, their minds intoxicated by love, moist with restless limbs, inflamed very delightful, making themselves known. They all fall under one's spell. Meditating that restless fire, the moon, and the red rays of the morning sun are in a young woman's yoni, excites her immediately. When one meditates that the virtuous one is in her heart as bright as vermilion, it is said that she causes delusion, desire, subjugation, and attraction. concentrating and meditating that she showers red nectar on her head, agitates the world. Now I speak of another prayoga, hard to get on earth, the knowledge of which causes a sadhaka to become equal to the god of love. In the place of Kama, which is in the center of the place of Kama, in the middle of Kama, one should fashion a whole. By Kama, one should accomplish Kama and should place Kama within Kama. Having made oneself a lover by Kama, in the place of Kama, one may agitate the world. The real nature of the Shakti Bija is creation and dissolution. One should meditate on the nature of creation and dissolution in one's own body. When one has, by this method, become like Garuda, the sight of one causes Nagas to become benumbed. One's steadiness causes them to become excited and their nectar to flow, and one's steadiness and fearlessness destroys poison and all other harmless substances, bad ailments, malignant planets, various hosts of different dakinis, bhutas, pretas, and pishachas, which may come within the range of one's three eyes. Similarly, whosoever should meditate on this vidya as being in the navel, heart, and head lotuses becomes complete, liberated, beautiful, literally like a red lotus, knowing the 8 siddhis, possessing dominion over all, and having a long life. Dear one, whichsoever sadhaka should remember this mantra mentally becomes knowledgeable in the Matrika Chakra. Parameshani, he who should recite the Mahatripura Sundari Vidya becomes a knower of the Matrika Chakra, entering and merging into its essential core. By meditating in this way, a sadhaka becomes beloved of all the yoginis in the various places having sons. Meditating thus, one gains the ultimate power of Khechari, complete, resorted to by these yoginis. 640 million very powerful yoginis are situated in this chakra. O Veera Vandite, the lotuses of 8 and 16 petals are bound up with the first and second syllables. After meditating on these limbs of the god of love, one becomes equal to the god of love. The hand purifying and other vidyas were each separately declared by me in the Rudra Yamala Tantra of Yor. Having become a god of love by means of these attendants of love, each with their nose, goad, bow, and arrows, one may excite all young women, whether in heaven, on earth, or in the underworld. One who has made his body like Tripuras may drew to himself Devis, Gandharvis, Siddha Kanyas, and Vidyadharis by means of these Shaktis. One becomes powerful in the arrows produced from this great diamond gem, like the god of love. One is worshipped everywhere, both above and below. The great news is Mayabij, the renowned Rudra Shakti known as Kundalini or Maya, said to be the captivator of woman. The mantras of the 5 arrows are Bayuvij, first Ha, Ya, Ra, La, Va with Nadan Vindu, and the great god is Ankushbij. The sugarcane bow is Tha, Da with Nadvindu. one should worship Tripura's mudras and the 8 siddhis in all chakras at a suitable time. O Parameshwari, this chief vidya of Tripura causes one to become like Garuda. Also, if one should worship using the vidya of Tripura Bhairavi, one become like Lord Hari, attracting all and deluding the three worlds. One also becomes equal to Kamadeva. Whosoever worships Mahatripura Sundari becomes like a powerful prince in the world, becoming very fortunate. Whosoever worship in the triangle with resolution, O Sundari, gains all siddhis. From sadhana in the triangle, a man becomes a lord of speech greater than Kandarpa. Whether by worshipping outside the triangle, in the triangle, or in the center of the triangle, Parvati, by worshipping all the Devis, one acquires Khechari Siddhi along with Anima and the rest of the 8 siddhis. End of the fourth patala of VamaKesvariMatam. Panchamah patalaha. Devi said, you have spoken of all relating to the supreme knowledge of Tripura, the Kama Tattva, knowledge of poison, liberation, and the three Tattvas, Shankara. Now speak of the rules relating to Hom and Japa, by practicing which one becomes accomplished and very fortunate. Sri Bhairava said, listen, Devi, I proclaim the sadhana of Tripura mantra and the methods of Hom and Japa, which give all results. O Parameshwari, having worshipped the chakra properly and wedded in vow, if a mantrin should recite the mantra 1,000 times, either only in the center or on the outside, he gains endless fruits thereby. Having firstly meditating on Parameshwari as either being in one's heart or placed in the chakra, one should recite using the previously declared method of meditation, reciting either audibly, quietly or mentally, doing the nyasa previously spoken of, and also employing the various mudras. One should take one's rosary, which may be made of pearl, beautiful emeralds, lotus seeds, rudraksha, crystal, coral, ruby, red sandalwood, and so forth. Having made oneself like Tripura, smearing oneself with kunkuma, aguru, camphor, and musk, one should recite the mantra 100,000 times. This liberates one from great sins. By reciting the mantra 200,000 times, Tripura Devi destroys all the sins created in 7 incarnations. There is no doubt. The mantrin, after concentratedly reciting the body of mantra 300,000 times, destroys the sin of the 7,000 births. Certainly, having recited the great Vidya 400,000 times, one becomes a great lord of speech. Doing it 500,000 times, plainly one is freed from poverty. Having recited it 600,000 times, one becomes the Lord and the receptacle of all knowledge. By reciting it 700,000 times, one gains the power of unity with Khechari. The celestial worshipper, having recited the mantra 800,000 times, becomes Lord of Anima and the other siddhis. After reciting Tripura Sundari's mantra 900,000 times, the body of the mantrin becomes like Rudra. O Gauri, after acquiring all this, one becomes radiant and irresistible in the world, always happy and heroic. One becomes a lord acting according to one's own will. Whosoever recites mentally rather than quietly or audibly gains 10 million times the result. Deveshi, if having made oneself like Tripura, one should recite the mantra 100,000 times, having established in one's own body, the Swayambhu, Vana, and Ethara, lingers in heart, genitals, or forehead, then one becomes the cause of agitation in the three worlds. The best of sadhakas, having firstly recited to Shakti using the above method, should sacrifice 1/10 part of it using flowers and blossoms from Brahma trees. In this way, the great Vidya destroys all great obstacles, becomes the giver or all becomes the giver of all desires and the bestower of both enjoyment and liberation. One should do homa in a fire pit shaped like a yoni or a triangle or a circle, or in one shaped like the crescent moon, or in a 9 triangle chakra, or in a 8 petaled yantra, or in a rectangle. If in a yoni shaped kunda one becomes eloquent, in a triangle one becomes all attracting, in a circular kunda one becomes wealthy, in one like a crescent moon one acquires all the three. In a kunda of 9 triangles one becomes like Shiva, and in a triangle one obtains peace and wealth, nourishment and freedom from disease. In the lotus shape one gains all prosperity and long life. In a heart of 8 petals, O charming one gains every sort of result. Sacrificing using yellow and white jasmine flowers, nutmeg blossoms, and great amounts of liquid butter, even a food becomes a lord of speech. O Parameshwari, after sacrificing using fragrant oleander, China rose flowers, and liquid butter, O Parvati, a mantrin becomes an attractor of young women in heaven, on earth, and in the underworld. Ishwari, sacrificing using nectar, camphor, all mixed together with red powder, one becomes like the god of love, very fortunate, and the lord of all prosperity. Having sacrificed using champaka and trumpet flowers, one becomes all prosperous. O Devi, if one sacrifices using sandal, aguru, camphor, and ghee in a triple kunda, one becomes the cause of all excitement. Having gone to a crossroads, being naked, and having meditated on Maheshwari, if one then sacrifices using fruit and the three madhus, one becomes like Khechara. If one sacrifices using milk, honey, curd mixed with grain, one becomes free of all disease and liberated from time and death. End of the fifth patala of VamaKesvariMatam. The end.